So we all go through life trying to figure out what life's meaning and what life's purpose is. We struggle all the time, and sometimes it's really hard to figure out because we got all these obstacles around us. We got social media influences and stuff like that. Well, today I'm going to give you some tips so you can figure out how to define your own life's meaning. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a comment down below, hit the thumbs up if you're feeling this, and share this out to a buddy, man. Let's have a fantastic day and let's get into the antidote. Today's topic is going to be based off of inspiration because today I want to inspire you to have a different perspective. Inspiration is a process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something. Y'all know I love getting y'all in y'all feelings, especially to do something creative. So realistically, I got a few questions for y'all today. So we gonna do a little engagement. It's gonna require you to go ahead and make some comments today. You're gonna be a little nervous, and I know you're like, Marcus, what you cooking up? Don't worry, it's the secret sauce. It's the homemade recipe that your mama gave you on the deathbed when you sprinkled a little basil leaves and a little oregano in there, but it's gonna be pretty lit. So question I got for you is, how do you define your life's meaning? I'm really curious. How do you define your life? Like, what is your life defined by? Do you have like a word of your life? Do you have like something that's in the forefront of your mind every day when you're talking about living? Because you know we talked yesterday about being alive versus living. So there's a big difference between the two. If you missed that episode, be sure to check out the YouTube channel or check out yesterday's episode. But what defines your life? Well, don't worry, I got a few questions for you. We're going to talk about it. Let's get into the antidote.
Today's topic is based off of execution. It's a noun meaning to take action, to put a plan in motion, and make things happen today. Stop talking and start doing.
All right, in case you ain't quite figured it out, don't worry. I'm going to help you out today. Today we're going to talk about tips to define your life's meaning. The first question I got is, how do you endure pain and disappointment? That's a huge question. I'm going to say it again because I know it threw some of y'all off. How do you endure pain and disappointment? Because we all know that life got struggles, right? Everybody ends up on a struggle bus every once in a while. Sometimes Mike Tyson just balls up that fist and just punches your life right in the mouth, and then you get thrown off for a while. How do you endure that pain? When you set up goals and you end up failing, how do you endure that disappointment? Because what's most important that you realize is that life is not about what happens, but it's all about how you respond to what happens, because life is unpredictable. Somebody told me one time, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. He gonna be looking down like, ha 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 ha, child of mine. like seriously, if you want to make God laugh, just tell him a plan, because you may think that you're in control of your vehicle, but God got the steering wheel. And I'm telling you, sometimes he just like playing jokes on you. He like, I'm gonna just sprinkle some rocks all on them and see how they gonna react. What you gotta understand is you gotta chase pain, man. You gotta chase that. You gotta chase. And I know this sounds really stupid, like, Marcus, pain hurt. Why would you want to chase it? Because the growth is after the struggle. If everything was easy, then there's no growth in that process. You gotta chase the bad things. And I know that sounds really weird because it just, like I said, I'm here to change your perspective today. If everything was super easy, we talked about it yesterday, would you rather aim high and miss or aim low and hit it? Remember we talked about that yesterday? And some of y'all was lying in the comments, yo, I'd rather aim high and miss. You don't like missing. And don't worry, I don't like missing too, but you gotta go through for the goal. So when pain happens, how do you endure it? How do you react to it? How do you respond to it? Because your response is gonna determine the rest of your life. If you respond accordingly and you realize and take it on the surface for what it is and say, this is just a temporary setback for the comeback, then you're gonna be all good. But see, if you respond to that pain and you just go ball up in the corner and say, I ain't doing this no more. You ever been punched in the face? All right, let's go ahead and get to the next topic. The next tip is, the question I have for you is, what is your response to fear? Now, this is going to be a really good one. This may be the little secret sauce right here. Because, again, I help a lot of people. I run a lot of challenge groups. I mentor a lot. People reach out to me for advice all the time. And the number one thing people say is that they're afraid. You want to know what some people are afraid of? They're afraid of success and they're afraid of failure. This thing called fear is ruining your life, because greatness is on the opposite side of fear. Just because you're afraid of something doesn't mean that you don't attempt it. So my question to you again is, what is your response to this fear? So I'm reading this book right now, and where is it at? Here it is. I'm reading this book right now called Chase the Lion, and underneath it says, if your dreams don't scare you, it's too small. And let me tell you, I heard this quote a long time ago. long time ago. Probably had to be about 5 or 6 years ago. And it was during the time that I was doing some goal setting. And it was, whatever you're thinking, think bigger and stuff like that. And that's what led me to start traveling outside of the country. And let me tell you, when I first started thinking about traveling outside the country, I was scared. And that's how I knew I was on the right track. And next thing you know, some of the most beautiful places that I've ever been started to happen. And guess what? This year, one of the goals is travel outside the country again. And the destination, boy, oh boy, it scared your boy. But guess what? I got paid today and I took a big chunk of that paycheck and I threw it towards the vacation fund. So we gonna make it happen in 2020. Just watch. But I'm very curious as to you though. How do you respond to that fear? When it comes to fear, do you run away from it? Or do you run towards that fear? Now, I know some of y'all, don't be lying in my comments section, because I know some of y'all be like, I be chasing fear. No, you don't. You forget we Facebook friends. I see you on Facebook. You don't run towards the fear. Well, I'm going to give you some advice. Start running towards the fear. When fear looks you in your face, I want you to give it the death stare. I want you to be all up in it like this. You ain't got nothing on me, fear. You ain't got nothing on me, fear. I ain't afraid of you. Like, look it dead in his face and don't run from it. Run towards the fear because, again, growth is in the struggle. After you figure out the struggle, it's going to provide you with it's going to get your brain mechanism working. You're going to be like, okay, something ain't right and I got to figure it out. The problem is when you're on cruise control, your brain ain't working like it's supposed to. When obstacles and craziness happen, just imagine you driving a car and automatically you got to swerve. Your brain takes energy to figure out what's the next move, and it's got to be the best move because it just may cost you your life. That's exactly what's going on in your life. When you're faced with some of these obstacles right now, your brain needs to react fast, and it can't do it on cruise control expecting everything to be easy. So run towards the obstacles. You can help exercise the strongest muscle in your body. Mr. Zach Pertwee, can I get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
Thank you kindly, buddy. I miss you. Thank you for tuning in from Paris, Kentucky. The next question I have is, how do you learn from your mistakes? That's a big one. That's a huge one. Some people end up doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Can you believe it? Think about your career for a second. Have you been in your career for about a decade? Let me ask you, are you still doing the things that you started a decade ago, even still today? I'm not talking about the things that's like scientifically proven and the recipe for success and you following along for that. No. I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about, are you complacent? Are you at a level that you're not comfortable with? Are you wanting to propel your life forward? Are you willing to take the stairs to success and not the elevator because it's broken? But my question to you is, are you doing the things to help you to get to that place? Or are you being complacent and doing the same things over and over and expecting something different to happen? Now, we know that's the definition of insanity. So are some of us certifiably insane? I'm just a little bit curious. I know that there was a moment in my life where I was, but then I had to create the life that I wanted, which we're going to get into in the next tip. So again, I ask you, how do you learn from your mistakes? Do you continue to do the same thing after you make a mistake? Or do you try to figure out an alternative route to get you a different result? Don't lie to me in the comment section. Y'all know we Facebook friends. All right, and last but not least, it's more so of a statement and not necessarily a question, but this is some advice that I'm going to give you personally from me to you, because this is something that I exercise and it got me fantastic results that's going to propel me so far forward in my life and so far forward in my career. But make a plan for the life that you want and then execute on it. Execute on it. Now, when you make the plan, planning is kind of easy. So the first step is thinking it into existence. That's the easy part. I want to do this. I'm going to do that. I have a goal that I'm going to accomplish this. Now, that's the easy part. First of all, when you're doing all this talking, the only thing you really doing is you wishing. Because until you write that thing down on paper, that ain't no goal. You just wishing and hoping things happen. And I don't know nobody that gets successful off of wishing and hoping. It may be some praying in there, but trust me, God, like, you got to do your part. I'm going to sprinkle a little fairy juice on you. I'm going to give you a little unicorn fart, but you're going to have to put in the work down there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to do my part, but you got to do your part. And your part is a whole lot more than just talking. So once you got, what you want to do, now you got to write it down. Then once you write it down, you got to figure out why is it most important to you and how you're going to make it happen and what you're going to do. Now, that's a real cool thing. And then you got to execute on top of that. I showed you guys a few days ago on the Daily Dose Show, I'm surrounded by greatness. I'm surrounded by my goals. I'm surrounded by inspiration, positivity, and everything that's going to help keep me on track. because the more that stuff is in front of my face, the more likely I am to accomplish it. That is the reason I write my daily, I write my monthly, I write my yearly goals down every single day, so it's in the constant forefront of my mind of what I need to accomplish, and I accomplish it more than often than not because I execute every single day. I didn't say electrocute, I said execute. That means put the action. It's a verb. It means you got to actually do something besides doing this right here. Mr. Zackberg, tweet again. Can I get you?
Hallelujah.
Does anybody know somebody that's all they do is just do this instead of doing this? They always talk about, I'm going to do this month, and I'm going to do this year, and I'm going to make this fantastic thing, and you just sitting there like, I'm waiting, Felicia, I'm waiting. Like, people don't care about what you say you're going to do. People care more about you actually doing it and proving that you actually do it. That's the reason that I said I'm going to be posting accountability every single day in my stories, because these days in 2020, you need social proof that you actually did something. And you do it video format so people ain't photoshopping and all the crazy stuff to try to dupe the system. So let's go ahead and run down the final checklist real quick for the people that came fashionably late so they can see what I'm talking about. These are tips to determine your life, to determine and define your life's meaning. Number one, how do you endure pain and disappointment? That's a very important question, because again, life isn't about what happens, it's about how you respond to what happens. So respond accordingly. Think about it. Number two, what is your response to fear? I know you're afraid. I know you're a little scaredy cat. I know you're the cowardly lion and stuff like that. Don't worry. It's okay. I'm not judging you. I used to be in the same boat, but I figured something out. I gave you the secret sauce to how to do it. So again, how do you respond to this fear? Do you run away or do you run towards it? Chase the things that's going to help you propel yourself forward, because there's no growth on cruise control. Number three, how do you learn from your mistakes? Mistakes are going to happen. Nobody's perfect, right? So you just need to go ahead and accept it. Just accept it, but make sure you're learning from your mistakes and not continuing to do the same thing over. When you was a kid and you try to touch that stove and your mama tell you, it's hot, don't touch it again. Some of us go through life touching the stove all the time. Continue to touch the stove, and you know that stove is hot, and you play with fire, and you're going to get burnt. And last but not least, make a plan for the life that you want and then execute. And when I say plan, I really mean plan. Plan it out. Isolate yourself. Go somewhere by yourself. Develop something and put it on paper. Put it in writing. Put it on your MacBook. Put it on your computer. Put it on your phone. Put it every single place that you can see it every day, to be a constant reminder of what you want to accomplish in your life, and make it happen. And what's most important, I'm going to give you the really fun fact tip. Start with why. Don't talk about what you want to do first. Always start with why. Because when you make a deep, meaningful, passionate why behind it, that's going to be a constant reminder when you want to give up and when you fail of why you got this far in the first place. And to get to where you want to go, you can't do the same things to get you where you are right now. Boy, I be delivering some antidotes sometimes. I truly appreciate y'all from tuning into the Daily Dose Show. But guess what? I got me a website, y'all. It's official like a referee whistle. It has all my social links on there. And let me tell you, sometimes some people just need a quick 1-minute antidote. You should really head on over to my Instagram page, just the Daily Dose Show. If you just need 1 minute of some positivity, inspiration, motivation, I chop this episode up every single day to bring you the Sure Shot Fire way. But if you want to support me on the swag tip too, you know, some of you guys say you like my shirts and stuff like that, head on over. I got the link to the Daily Dose store. You can go ahead and get you some Dose merch. That would really be great, and I would appreciate it. And also has my YouTube links on there too. But you guys know the Sure Shot way, the best way to catch me is live Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time Zone on Facebook Live. Search for the Daily Dose Show. Hit the thumbs up, change your following and notification settings so you can always know when I go live. And last but not least, the YouTube channel is what you're going to want to share out sometimes when you're in a private setting, when you're at home, when you're with your friends, when you're at work, and you're like, man, you need to listen to this guy because he really knows what he's talking about. He brings a whole lot of energy, brings a whole lot of fire, and he's the Sure Shot way to make sure you get your antidote daily so we can cure this poison that you poisoning your brain with on a consistent basis. Go over to YouTube, type in my name, Markiss Stone, subscribe to the Daily Dose Show to always get your antidote. Check out the outro.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Daily Dose. I hope you got your antidote today. Your daily dose of positivity, inspiration, and motivation. Check me out every Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time Zone on Facebook Live. And don't forget to Hulk smash that share button.
I do what I do from the heart and I don't expect anything in return. I'm a kid from the south side of Chicago that's here to make the world smile and change people's lives. Y'all have a fantastic Thursday. I'm off today.